Hello, you accidentally! Don't live in here! Presenting you the Accidentally Anniversary 1941 Setup! My House Rule Edition! And so, if you've ever been playing this 41 version of the anniversary setup, a lot of people, if you're not the Axis, people have complained about this game, including me, because this setup is so favored to the Axis forces. It's really hard to win with the Allies in the 41 or 42 setup, especially the 41. But this is what I propose. What I propose is putting extra units on the map. And the way I did that, what I basically did was combine the 41 setup with the 42 setup. Mostly, I say about maybe between 80 and 90% of the forces that were in 42 will go into the 41 setup as well. I did that for all the nations, and I maybe had to move stuff around so it wouldn't be too powerful in that region. Also, I did add one unit for Italy so that both sides will come out equal in IPCS of worth of units, because I completely hate how you call them, bids. I hate bids. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I added everything all together, all the extra units for both sides. It kind of, I say about, I believe it's 108 IPCs worth of units. So that's what I did. I'll show you what I did for Russia first. No, not Russia. Let's go by order. Oh yeah, turn order too, I forgot to say. Let's see, couldn't find any paper at the time, but I changed the turn order a little bit here. China would go first, Germany second, the UK will go in third, Japan fourth, Russia fifth, Italy sixth, America last. I'll show you how that's done. I'll explain it to you. So don't judge me just yet. I'll explain it to you. So let's go with China. Since China goes first, this way, Japan can't destroy almost all their units. I mean, theoretically, you can go wipe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in Japan's first turn. That's unreal. That's if Japan would commit that, could commit to that. But theoretically, they can do it. So what I did with China, they'll go first. Also, these white ships indicate extra units, not how many units. So whatever's on top of it is what's going on there. The chips, that's what it indicates. So as you see, China gets 2 more units. One in there, in Ningxia, and one in Sikang. So what this does is either China can attack Japan, but since Japan doesn't have much of an offensive force, you may not want to do that. But they have that option. They do have a beautiful option of gathering their forces into a more defensive posture against the Japanese force before the Japanese take their turn. So, problem solved there, I'd say. Also, as you know, nations usually get, well, no. Yeah, okay, nations usually get national objectives. What I did for China, I gave it I'm giving it two national objectives. What I'm doing is if the Burma road is open, and it connects to a Chinese territory, then China can receive one free artillery at the end of their turn. Another one, if they control all their original territories, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 original territories, by the end of their turn, they get free Flying Tiger. So, which if China's first turn, at least, they'll get a free artillery and a Flying Tiger. So they'll become more strong offensively. So I think that's pretty good. And of course, I'll put this all in my description box of my video about what I'm going to do, all the extra stuff and national advantages, and also not only national objectives, but also national advantages as well. And I'll show you that later. Let me show that now. I hope I have time for this. As you know, I got this from the Axis and Allies revised edition. That's the one that came out in 2004, the one right after the classic. And I'm using their national the optional rules of national advantages. Let's see, Soviets will get Russian winter, non-aggression pact, mobile industry, salvage, Trans-Siberian Railway, but not Lend-Lease. I figured that's too powerful as on Lend-Lease. If you want to see how these goes, and man, it blanked out on me. Oh yeah, right there. Just go to axeandallies.org and go to rules and downloads. You can download these revised rule books. The Axis and Allies revised. It came out 2004. The revised rule books. And you could just download that to your computer or phone, and so you can follow. You see what those advantages are. And the German national advantages: U-boat interdiction, Atlantic Wall, Panzer Blitz, Wolfpacks. Forces Europe, but not Luftwaffe dive bombers. So, as I go down the line, everybody will start out with 5 advantages, with the exception of Italy and China, of course, because they never got advantage. They weren't even into one. And I don't feel like giving them national advantages, anyways. Now for the UK, their advantages are radar, Enigma decoded, Midi soil, French resistance, colonial garrison, but not. Okay. Enigma decoded. Okay, they get not joint strikes though. They don't get joint strikes. I see that's too powerful. Japan, they'll get Tokyo Express, kamikaze attacks, K-10 torpedoes, dug-in defenders, and banzai attacks, but not lightning assaults. I think that's too powerful. But they get 5 natural advantages, just like everybody else. United States, they'll be getting island bases, Chinese divisions, which will help out the Chinese, Marines, mechanized infantry, fast carriers, but not super fortresses. Now, all these advantages that I'm not including this, you can if you want. But I suggest that you dumb down these those ones I did indicate that I want in this game. You could dumb it down to once per game. You could use them, but I won't use them. And let's see now. Next on the turn order is it's Germany. Let's see what the extra stuff they get. As you can see in white chips here. First, they get a destroyer. In that sea zone right there, in the Mediterranean. They also get a destroyer in the Baltic Sea. I I figured that since if everybody has a decent amount of navy in this game, they should start out with at least a destroyer. But I got this off, of course, off the charts, off the 42 setup, and just nerfed it into the 41 setup. So that's how I did it. Also, they'll get extra infantry in Norway, one extra tank here in Northwest Europe, AA gun in France. Now these two, also two tanks. In the 42 setup, they started out in Germany, but I pushed them back into France, so they won't be too powerful in the first round when they take their turn. So I just pushed it to France. Also, I gave them an extra fighter. Now this fighter was in the 42 setup in France, but I put it into Germany, so there can't be a sea line going into Britain. So that's why I did it. And let's see what else. What else they have extra? Oh yeah, and 2 extra troops in Czechoslovakia as well. So they have a decent amount of units. Now let's see who will be second in this. Okay, the UK would be third in my setup here, house rule setup. Let's see what they get. They'll have an extra cruiser in this sea zone, even though the 42 setup is in 15, but I just moved it over to here. Because since Germany has an extra destroyer to attack with into the Atlantic, I want UK have more stuff in the Atlantic as well. I don't want them getting wiped out. Let's see what else. What else? That's it in the Atlantic. Extra stuff also. They'll get an extra infantry in Africa, in Egypt, which really tremendously helped them out. Let's see what else. Okay, over into Indian Sea Zone. A carrier and a fighter, according to the 42 setup. Where to put it? That's where I put it. That's impressive. And let's see what else extra they get. Also, they get an extra fighter in Australia, according to the 42 setup. So that's what I did. Let's see. I figure I'm missing something with, but I guess I'm not. So, well, I guess I'm not missing anything for UK. And since UK goes before Japan, and since it is a 41 setup, there's a restriction on UK. They can't attack Japan. They just can't, because it's a 41. Japan started the war in the Pacific, so Britain can't attack Japan in 41. Japan will attack first. If Japan doesn't attack first, and regardless, in the next round, UK can attack into the Pacific in the second round. So that's pretty good. Also, with their national advantages, what was it? One of their national advantages is colonial garrison, in which they start the game with an industrial complex on any territory that's worth at least 1. So what you can do is put it in India, Australia, Egypt, or Union of South Africa, or anywhere that has a 1 on it. But I would imagine you want 2 or 3, of course, on it. Also, another one that helps them out is Enigma Decoded. If you download that one, that means but this can only be used once per game. So let's see, Germany attacks any Britain's forces. Let's say they attack that. Britain has the option of moving stuff out of that sea zone, but according to the rules, they have to leave 1 behind. So let's say Germany attacks that. So I decide to move my cruiser into adjacent territory, sea zone. I have to keep the cruiser there. I have to keep the destroyer there, though, according to rules. So at least I would theoretically save the cruiser. So that helps, but it can only be used once in this game. So let me see what else. So that's what. Also, by Britain going first before Japan, they can at least set up their defense against the Japanese. They won't be losing stuff to the Japanese, like say Burma and such. I don't know what they can do with Queenstown, but they have the option of moving that. Okay, so that's it for them. Let's see who else is. Japan would go fourth. Let's see the extra stuff they get. According to the 42 setup. It's not much, but it's impressive still. They'll get an extra submarine. And according to the 42 setup, it was set on Solomon's, but I didn't want it to be there. So I put it into this Okinawa sea zone. So they can't reach all the way over here prematurely. So I put a submarine there. They also get extra battleship. Oh, and 42 setup indicates it's in that territory. And also extra bomber, which I think Japan should start out with a bomber. I mean, what the heck? So let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think 3 things that Japan gets extra. Also, let's see who else. Okay, finally Russia. Russia will go 5th after Japan. Let's see the extra stuff they get. According to 42 setup, nerfing it to the 41 setup, a bomber, which I think Russia should start out aircrafts. Also, a fighter, which would be in Karelia, and 3 extra tanks. 1 Archangel, not Archangel. Talking to you, you know who you are. Archangel. 1 tank there, extra tank in Russia, and a tank in Caucasus. Oh well. Look alive, soldier. Also, another thing. I always hated this rule. Why does Russia start out with just 6 in their capital? Total of 6 IPCs. I hate that. I mean, all the other nations, most of the other nations started with 8 or more, with the exception of Italy. So I nerfed that up to 8 IPCs worth in Russia, in their capital. And before anybody says anything, well, that's bidding. No, it ain't. I'll show you why in a little while in Italy's turn. So as you see here, Russia will get an offensive force of 3 tanks, a fighter, and a bomber. So Germany can't push them over like they usually do. Oh, very good. And let me see what else. Who's next? Finally, Italy. Not finally, but Italy. Italy started with extra stuff as well. According to the 42 setup, I nerfed it into the 41. An extra infantry, an extra tank in Italy. And finally, of the units, they also get a destroyer, which I think all seafaring nations should start with at least 1 destroyer. So I gave him 1. And this is the only unit that wasn't in the 42 setup or 41. So I gave it to the Axis. I'll give it to Italy. So both sides will start with 108 in IPC of new units. So that's not bidding. Also, Rome will also be 8 instead of 6. So they can build 8 stuff out of there, as well as Russia, which means Russia go from 10 to 12 to start out with in IPCs. And of course, Russia, instead of 30, they'll start at 32. 1 more than the Germans, which I think should be like that. They should be start at least more in IPCs against the German juggernaut, since they have more territories. Look at all those territories. So I think that will solve that problem. Okay. Now for America, finally the U.S. The U.S. they'll get some extra stuff. I think only a couple, only two, but they'll be, according to 42 setup, nerfed into 41 of a submarine, and what keep this calling this destroyed, but it's a cruiser. Okay, a cruiser. I mean, Pearl Harbor attack will still come, but it's going to come at a added cost to the Japanese, though. So meh. Because look at a lone battleship. That's ridiculous. So that means Japan, if they want to do a Pearl Harbor, they have to commit with more forces into there. So nay on you, Japan. Also, another thing that a lot of people have issues with about the national objectives. They say it's too geared up for in the Axis favor, and I tend to agree with that. But I hate to get rid of it altogether. So what I propose is, for national objectives, whenever a nation starts out originally, let's say take the German one, first one, for example. If Axis powers control all the following territories: France, Northwest Europe, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, and Poland, which Germany does start out in the beginning of the game, they'll get that. They'll get that national objective. And another thing is, since I'm going to do it, they're not going to get those two other national objectives, though. So, which means, since I'm going to do it that way, that means they start out in their money setup with 5 extra IPCs to spend in the first round and start their turn. That's the way I'm going to do it. You don't like it? Too bad. But I think that's cool. So, just basically all the nations, with the exception of China, will get just one. We'll start with one national objective, with the exception of. Should have been ready for this. Crap. That's the one I can't. Oh, come on. Oh well, you're gonna have to. America will start out with 2 of national objectives. Since there are 2 of their national objectives, they already start out with. So they start with a total of 10 in national objectives. So that way, I think it balances out the national objectives with the money's evens out. Maybe the Axis will be. I mean, the Allies will down with 5 more, but it's an Axis favorite game anyway. So I think that will help. But since everybody start out with the exception of America, they start with 2. Everybody with the exception of China, they'll start with one national objective. Like I said, they'll start out immediately with it. They get to spend it in the first round if they choose to. They can lose their national objectives, but in this way. Well, of course, this is what Germany has to do. Like I indicated, they had to own France, Northwest Europe, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Romania, and Poland. Of course, they have to keep all those to keep their national objectives, all those territories. But they can lose it too to the Allies if the Allies captures at least half these territories. So they can take it away from and the Allies can take it away from the Axis, and vice versa. The Axis can take it away from the Allies too, as well. Let's see for what example. Let me put an example here. Let's see. Since Russia started out with one national objective, that national objective is they have to control Archangel and have no Allied forces in their territories. Now, Germany can take that over if they take over Archangel, which is half of of the Soviet objectives. So that they can, if Germany wants that, all they got to do is that 5 IPCs away from the Soviets, they can take Archangel and they can ignore the Allied forces in the Russian territories. So same with everybody. They can take at least half their national objectives, wherever it indicates on there. I feel like I'm missing something here, but I think that's it. Oh yeah, I should bring this one out here about America, their national advantages of targeting divisions. It says, during your mobilized unit phase, you may place one of your infantry for free in one of the following territories if you control it: China, Sikang, Ningxia, or French Indochina. So America, let's say, we could put a freebie in all those territories that I indicated. Of course, that's if China is still around at the time. So I think that's cool. That'll help out China, in my opinion. Right? So right now I'm going to be starting with a G40 game, a house rule setup of Enderman 103. We're going to be playing a global house rule setup of his, a global 40. So I hope you guys all enjoy that one, and subscribe to Enderman. I believe the Warden is joining us. Let's see, Prozac, of course, myself, and who else? Oh, I'm sorry. I know there's somebody else. Well, I think that's the 4 so far. And I believe LT may be joining us in that one as well. So subscribe to all their channels, and I'm trying to get Sunny and you to play that G40 setup, not this one, but the G40 setup of Enderman's house roof setup. So stay tuned for that. That's going to come real soon, I think within the week. The size hasn't been determined, and we're trying to get a couple more players to play that. If we can, then we start with those 4 players in that G40 setup of Enderman's house rule setup. So I hope you enjoyed this one as well as I did. I hope I'll put the description, put the extra stuff, extra rules in the description box of my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And whoever's going to be my opponent in that G40 game, whoever rolls V6s, no 2, 6 or a 5, I'll be generous. If you happen to be playing against me, don't let me out.